Welcome, friends, haters, gentle lovers, and feeders. Join me as we experience together the most bafflingly interesting person on the internet. On today's episode, Amberlynn Reed does basically nothing. Hello, my friends. Amberlynn just uploaded, and surprise, surprise, she's quitting Semaglutide because why wouldn't she? She doesn't stick to anything. So honestly, she lasted longer than I thought she would, so I'm done weighing myself for now. She'll start weighing herself again when the cycle gets to that point. This is just the cycle, being the cycle, you know. And first therapy appointment, not a consultation, an appointment. So let's just jump in, shall we? If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not gonna lie.
Hello, welcome to a new vlog. So today is February 5th, and your girl does not feel like getting ready.
Yeah, she is 13 days behind. So she quit Semaglutide 2 weeks ago.
Today. Like, I just don't. I throw on some eyeliner, didn't even put on foundation, didn't even care enough to do that. Don't care about my hair, don't care about what I'm wearing. It is literally one of them days. I just want to start this off.
I think she's probably having a lot of those days, especially now, you know. Her whole life is just full of days where she just doesn't give a shit. But I think it's probably even more so now because of all the allegations and Beck coming out. I think she is, like, this is probably a time where she could legit say that she's struggling, because I would be. Shit, if I had all these allegations and all this stuff coming out, I would be. So I can only imagine she is going through it right now. And honestly, I am here for it.
With my weigh-in, it's not pretty, it's not good, and I do want to talk a little bit about it. So here it is. February 5th. Alexa, what's the date today?
Good afternoon, Amberlynn. It's Wednesday, February 5th.
I woke up swollen again.
Hello.
I woke up swollen again. It's that swelling, you know, that swelling that just comes out of nowhere. I mean, just sometimes you just wake up and you just go, you know, it just swells. We all go through this swelling, you know, it happens. Oh, no, we don't. It's the edemas. That's the problem. It's not the 5,000 calories. That has nothing to do with it. It's the edemas. All right, ready?
It's ready.
Step it on.
511.2 pounds.
511.2. And that's after eating only 2,100 calories yesterday.
Okay. I only ate 2,100 calories yesterday. Okay, I'm sure.
Okay. We'll talk more about that in a minute. I gained 2 pounds overnight, literally eating 2,100 calories. And it's like,
this is so frustrating because her audience, the babies, the people that actually listen to her, are all generally pretty young, right? They skew to the younger side, which is probably not great, but we'll set that aside for a minute. So they believe this stuff. When a 500-pound woman, girl, says, I gained 2 pounds by eating 2,100 calories, they believe that. And so that she is doing so much harm because it's obvious she didn't just eat 2,100 calories. All she talks about, all she thinks about is food. So either she's lying, which is almost 100% the case, or she just doesn't realize how much she's eating, right? She writes down the stuff that like the meals, but she doesn't realize how much other crap she's eating throughout the day. Like the secret eaters thing. But I just think she just lies. Either that or she's delusional and she's convincing herself that she's only eating 2,100 calories. And that's just, I mean, honestly, that could very well likely be the case. But it's harmful. There are people that hear her and just go, man, that sucks. You can gain 2 pounds by eating 2,100 calories? Not at 500 pounds, you can't. If she ate 2,100 calories, her weight would just be falling off of her, even with the edemas. And the other problem, too, is that she's not eating the right stuff, right? Because everything that I've heard about the edemas, when I say the edemas, I'm talking about lipedema and lymphedema. Everything I've heard about those is that all the doctors recommend a low-carb diet, like to help lose weight while you have them, and also to help with the symptoms of having them. And there's no way she's actually changing her diet to be low carb or anything that would actually help with the edemas or losing weight. And that's why we're here. That's why she's done weighing herself, because she just doesn't care. She's in that part of the cycle where she's just like, fuck it, I don't care. Which the funny thing is, she's always like that. But basically what happens is at this part of the cycle, she just goes mask off, right? On the next part of the cycle, she'll pretend to care, but she never really does.
That is a moment where my body is choosing to do what it wants to do because I have lipedema and lymphedema. As you guys know, I feel like I say that like every 2 seconds, but
See, there you go. It's an excuse. And instead of doing what she's supposed to do to help with those, she just eats whatever she wants in whatever amount she wants and just hopes that things will get better. She hopes the semaglutide will just magically make everything better. And she really acts like the laws of thermodynamics just don't apply to her, right? That calories in, calories out just doesn't apply to her. Because she's special and unique and different, you guys.
it's the truth. It's something I'm suffering with. And it's really hard.
Suffering. Oh my God. I'm suffering with this and I'm suffering with that. Shut the fuck up. You have not suffered a day in your life. Now, I understand you had a rough childhood, but I am convinced you exaggerate how bad it really was. So I don't know that you've ever actually experienced actual suffering in your life. And here's the thing. I haven't. I have never experienced true, real suffering. But I don't go around saying I suffer from this and I suffer from that.
Conflicting because like people with lipedema and lymphedema, it is easier for them. By the way, that is my broom. That is not a mop. I've had people ask, is that a cute little pink mop? No, it's a broom. I just always have it out.
Who cares?
Random parts of my home because I like to do cleaning around.
Who is asking that? What? Who would ask that? Like, no. First of all, has it ever been in a video? I've never, like, of course, I'm not looking for broom or mop handles, so who knows? What was this? What was that for, right? Like, what was her goal in making that up? There's no way somebody in her comments was like, hey, I saw this thing that looked like a mop handle. Is that what that is? Is it a pink mop handle? I really need to know what is going on with that mop handle in the background. Can you tell me about the mop handle? And she comes on and goes, it's not a mop, it's a broom. Like, who fucking cares?
As you guys know. Anyways, I feel like I'm rambling. But so it is conflicting having issues with like my gallbladder and pancreas, but then also having issues with lipedema and lymphedema, because what helps lipedema and lymphedema is a low carb, high fat diet. Whereas that's the diet that'll trigger my gallbladder and trigger my pancreas.
Oh, dude, look at her grin. And here's the thing, I'm not a doctor. That could be exactly right. But knowing amberlynn, this is just a bunch of bullshit.
So it's like, okay, so it's just all very conflicting and frustrating. So long story short, I would rather have issues with my lymphedema and my lymphedema versus obviously organs inside of my body. So that is why I choose not to do like a really high fat protein.
And that's what this is for. Is she's been called out by everybody saying, hey, if you really want to help with your demas, maybe change your diet. And then so she comes out here and goes, yeah, but if I do that, then this will happen. Like, bro, in fact, you know what? Okay. She says that the best diet for the demas is a low carb, high fat diet. Now, of course, this is just the Google AI. I mean, I'm not going to go actually like do a research paper on it, but generally speaking, I don't see anything about high fat diet. It's all about protein, low carb, limit processed foods, which we know she doesn't do that at all. You know, focus on whole foods. It recommends a lot of fiber and protein. Okay, and so that's for lipedema. Let's look up lymphedema. Low sodium, fiber rich, whole foods again, plenty of water. That's a big part of it, is the water consumption is really important for both. Okay, now look at this. It even says limit processed foods high in sodium, unhealthy fats, and added sugars. But I don't see anything here for either of the demas that says you should have a high fat diet. I would think that if that was what was known to be low carb and high fat, that's what it would say. So for lipedema, it does say low carb. It says consider low carb or ketogenic diet. For lymphedema, it doesn't say low carb specifically, but it just generally says just eat healthier, right? Eat whole foods, limit processed foods, drink water. And so for food that's bad for your gallbladder, it does say a diet high in fat and cholesterol is bad for your gallbladder, right? Avoid fried foods and basically all the foods that she eats constantly. This is basically a list of her daily intake. So no. She just made this up. Because the Dimas both say nothing about fat. They both basically just talk about like whole foods, eating healthy, drinking water. The lipedema does say low carb, but the gallbladder just basically says don't eat junk. And that's all she eats. So basically what she's saying is the diet that's good for her Dimas is bad for her gallbladder. But that's not the case. The diet that's good for her Dimas is also a pretty good diet for your gallbladder. The diet that's best for your Dimas doesn't require high fat like she's saying. If it did, that would be bad for your gallbladder, but it doesn't. In fact, if you just stay low carb and other than that, just eat pretty good food and try to stay healthy, then it would be good for both. But the food that she's going to be eating is all the processed, fried, just generally bad for you types of foods. That's all she eats. So it's not going to help any of her problems. It's going to make the Dimas worse and the gallbladder worse. So she's just making this up because she has to have an excuse to just eat whatever she wants.
Based low carb diet because it does make my pancreas and my gallbladder hurt. It's just something that I have to deal with.
And I forgot about the pancreas because for whatever reason, that's a thing now. I don't remember her ever talking about her pancreas before, but it's sort of the same thing. It says you just eat lean protein, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats, right? It's just the same thing. Don't eat fried junk. Eat small, frequent meals. Drink plenty of fluids. Generally, I'm assuming they mean water. Maintain a healthy weight, all that kind of stuff. And it does say, and here's the thing, but the pancreas even says to limit the refined sugars and simple carbs. So the pancreas diet is almost identical to the Dima diet. And the gallbladder doesn't say anything about carbs other than just saying avoid general junk. So yeah, all she has to do is go to a lower carb diet and just not eat junk and she would be fine. But she can't do that. Just like in that video where she ate that giant poke bowl, she said, I know it was a high calorie meal, but it was worth it because it was freaking tasty. That's all that matters to her. She's just, all this other stuff about the pancreas and her gallbladder and the Dimas is all just some reason to excuse her eating whatever she wants. So no, bullshit. She just made that up.
And I can be in a calorie deficiency all day long.
A calorie deficit. Deficiency means that you just have a lack of something or don't have enough of something. But a deficit is the amount of something compared to something else, right? Because when you're talking about calories, it's always going to be a comparison because it's going to be calories in versus calories out. The intake versus your expenditure by moving and burning calories. So it's a deficit because your intake is lower than your output. That's what a deficit is. A deficiency means you don't have enough. And we know she has enough.
And still, my body sometimes does not react. I do want to make progress.
That's just a lie. She's just eating too much.
Obviously, I'm not going to be able to make progress every day because eating at 2,100 calories, as someone who is 500 pounds, I should have lost weight. Having lipedema and lymphedema while trying to lose.
Yes. Yes. That's why it's bullshit.
lose weight, but also suffering with like weird pancreas and gallbladder issues. It's giving like I'm a human in quicksand trying to get out of it, and I like literally can't. Anyways, I did eat today. I've had 400.
Bro, this is frustrating because she could make some simple changes to her diet and it would fix everything. She would be so much better off, but she just can't. She has to have her delicious, yummy junk food at any time. Whenever she wants it, she has to have it. Because she's a child. She lives on instant gratification.
And 95 calories. I did not film because I was busy answering a ton of questions for my therapy appointment tomorrow. I'm telling you, there was like 100 questions. I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. Like, it was definitely triggering, but therapy is triggering. So I was eating my food. It was a sandwich. So here's a picture of that. And I'm telling you, that is like the best sandwich ever. It is so good. It's just bacon, chicken lunch meat, mayo, mustard, red onion, lettuce. It's giving BLT without the tomato. And we add some onion and chicken lunch meat, which I actually said that in my last vlog too, but.
Is it a fixation? Is it her next food hyperfixation? Or did she just find something she likes and she eats it regularly? And honestly, I'm surprised she didn't say it was a fixation. I think she has before, though.
Y'all, I'm telling you, Oklahoma, like, might be one of the windiest places I've ever lived sometimes. I just came back in from walking Twinkie.
I live in Oklahoma, and I mean, some days are pretty windy, but that is not what I would take away. Like, if I were to say anything about Oklahoma, it's that the weather changes on a dime. Like, in fact, the weather was like 60 degrees 2 or 3 days ago, and today it's like 1 degree, and the kids are home from school because it iced over today. So it's just up and down, up and down, up and down all year round, pretty much. Except for in the summer, it's just fucking hot all the time during the summer. But generally, the rest of the year, and in fact, one of the sayings in Oklahoma, kind of a common saying, is if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes.
And yeah, it's a windy, but it's weird. I noticed where I go to like walk Twinkie and stuff, like it's more windy like in that section versus like when I turn the corner and go around the building, it's not as windy over there. I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. Wind does not make sense. So I'd
love to see that area because I'm guessing there's stuff in the way, right? There's things that block the wind in one area and then like not things that block the wind in the other area. And especially when you get into like corners and stuff, that wind will start whipping around in the corner. Like, how has she lived 34 years and not understood like how wind works?
Actually also got done talking to a friend of mine. Her mom also has like lipedema problems, and she just made me feel a lot better. It's great to have like.
Is the friend in the room with you right now? Wait, do they live in Canada? They don't go to your school? Who is this friend?
Like people in your life, they're like super supportive. I need that in my life, trust me. Especially people who like understand the struggle, you know? And I was just talking more, and they were talking to me, giving me their 2 cents, their advice. Sometimes I need it. And honestly, the winning choice here, the conclusion of it all is I probably should not be weighing myself daily. I have not been weighing myself daily in a very long time.
I mean, yeah, obviously you shouldn't be weighing every day because you could just take a dump and lose a couple pounds at your weight. And she is obsessed with this idea of what I ate today has got to show in what I weigh tomorrow, right? So when she steps on the scale, it's whatever happened yesterday is what she's thinking of. But that's not really how it works.
And I only wanted to do it for this series, but I'm realizing more than ever, it literally puts me in the worst headspace because I ate 2,100 calories last night. I was so super happy about that.
And I still am not buying that at all. Like, I think, first of all, she's saying it too many times. Thou doth protest too much. But no, she can't do that. I just don't believe it. As much as she talks about food, thinks about food, and makes food basically the center of everything she does, and the absolute lack of willpower or maturity that she has, like, there's no way she can limit herself to 2,100 calories. It's just not happening.
I went to bed proud of myself, and then to wake up and see that I gained 2 pounds, like, to the average person, it's like defeat. They're like, wow, how did I gain 2 pounds? With me, it's like, it's fluid, it's water retention, it's all.
Wow. For the average person, it's defeat. But for me, it's just excuses. It's not my fault. I did everything right. Not my fault. That's why you're never going to get anywhere in life. You're going to be stuck. Because here's the thing. She is exactly the same as she was 10 years ago. I don't know anybody else that you can say that about. Most people grow and mature and learn and become different people in 10 years. But not amberlynn. And this is why. Is because anything that happens, it's excuse, excuse, excuse. She never learns from anything. But then in the Beck apology video, right, her final response to Beck, I've grown, I'm a better person, I'm a better pet parent, she said. And she said, I've learned so much. Not a tiny modicum of change has happened in her personality or in her thought process or in her moral compass or anything since Beck or since she has started on YouTube. And this is why. It's, for most people, it would be defeat. But for me, it's just excuses. What she should say is, for most people, it can be motivation. It can be a reason to change my habits. But for me, it's excuses for why it's not my fault. So I don't have to change anything. And she doesn't just do that for food. I mean, obviously, with the response to Beck, as horrible and narcissistic as that was, it's clear she uses that for everything in her life. It's excuse, excuse, excuse. It's not my fault.
All these stupid and annoying things. And it's like, yeah, sure, I know that. But like, at the same time, it makes me anxious. So I can't be doing the daily weigh-ins. I can't. And
what a weird takeaway, you know, that I'm not going to weigh every day because it just makes me realize the excuses that I have, right? It makes me aware of all of these things that are not my fault. And it makes me anxious. I don't want to weigh myself every day because I can see that I'm not making progress. That's wild, man.
And I hate to let people down, but I'm genuinely telling you, my new like 2025 slogan, which I feel like everyone should be saying this, is I need to protect my peace. I can't do it. Like, it put me in such a bad headspace.
Wow. She has really become like final boss victim Lynn. You know, like martyr Lynn Vader. She really is taking this to an extreme. I've got to protect my peace, meaning the only thing that matters to me is that I'm happy and I'm comfortable and nobody else matters. Nothing else matters. I'm just going to do what I want. I mean, this is really just her giving herself permission to do anything, whatever she wants, as long as it protects her peace. As long as she's happy, nothing and no one else matters.
Oh, I'm genuinely so annoyed. Like, I have no words for it. I swear I'm not crashing out. I'm not spiraling, but this whole vlog is going to seem that way because it's like,
she is definitely spiraling.
Every step of the way, I'm like, oh, I was going to weigh myself daily. Oh, now we're not doing that. And it's just like, you know, the next thing I'm about to say? Sundays are my Semaglutide day. I was supposed to message the providers 2 weeks prior to.
Yeah, we're not surprised. Obviously, you were going to quit Semaglutide. Nobody is surprised. Nobody will ever be surprised when you quit something.
Me needing a new vial. And I did that. I even vlogged, letting you guys know that I did that. As the days are getting closer and closer, it still hasn't shipped. So I messaged them and I'm like, I'm going to be taking my increased dose because I was supposed to double my dose. I'm going to be like, I'm going to be taking it late because you guys are not shipping it. And they're just like, I'm so.
Is she going to use the fact that it didn't show up as the excuse for why she's going to quit it? Man, she will just come up with any reason not to take accountability for anything. Holy crap. This is probably the worst. Like, this era is the worst I've ever seen of hers as far as like accountability and making excuses.
So sorry for the inconvenience. And I'm like, what do I say to that? I don't know. Like, it's okay, I guess, question mark. Like, this is a medicine. And it's like, I'm relying on this company to do the right thing. So already not getting it in time has been highly frustrating. So I was supposed to get it before the Sunday, which was just a few days ago, like today's Wednesday. And then they were like, nah, psych, like you're gonna get it on Tuesday. And I'm like, okay, fine, I guess I'll take it a couple days late. Like, it's fine. I messaged the provider to see what he thought. He said it's gonna be okay. So yesterday came around, which was Tuesday, and I was expecting to get it in the mail, and I didn't. So then I was like, fuck. I woke up today and I was like, hopefully I'll get it today. I checked. It said it was gonna be here today. It did arrive. It did. But it's the wrong dose. It's the wrong dose. I'm frustrated and I'm done.
There you go. She just decided that since the schedule got messed up, this is a perfect opportunity for me to just quit. It wasn't working anyway, so because it, you know, she expected it to just magically make her lose weight, and most people, it seems like it kind of does. They just sort of lose their appetite. But man, she just didn't.
It's like all these little things today are like, I don't know, just really getting to me. Just everything is getting to me. I cannot wait for my first therapy appointment tomorrow. Like, I just feel like the weight of the world is on me currently. And it's like, how is this company that I'm relying on?
I still cannot believe Amberlynn Reed has the audacity to say it feels like the weight of the world is on her shoulders. A person who literally sits around doing nothing all day long can say, I have the weight of the world on my shoulders. Girl, Kendrick Lamar, you are not. In fact, I'd say you're more like Drake.
For like a medicine that I'm injecting inside of me, how are they not only going to be late, but they're going to ship me the wrong dose? Like, what do I do with that? I'm frustrated and I'm done. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Amberlynn's about to quit semaglutide. Like, literally, it wasn't like that until this situation.
We knew you were going to quit it from the moment you announced you were going to take it. Like, this is not a surprise to anybody. How does she not understand that? Think of how many things she's quit. There's no way to even know. She has quit every single thing she's ever done. So why would this be a surprise? And how does she not understand it's not a surprise? After quitting so many times, everything she's ever done, how is it not sinking in that she just quits everything?
I love the thought of semaglutide and Ozempic and all of it. Like, I don't want to think about food. I don't want the food noise. I don't want to be hungry. Like, when semaglutide is really working and when Ozempic would work in the past, like, that shit, like, felt phenomenal to me. But it's literally not even working. You guys have been hearing me say that for weeks now. And I was like, oh, fine, I'm going to keep giving it a chance. And then it's late, days late. And then once it does arrive, it's not even the right dose. Like, I'm just so frustrated.
She's got that actor, Lynn. Something about this isn't adding up. She's, doing her the way she does her eyes and just she's overdoing it. I don't think she was taking it for a while. I think she quit it a long time ago. And I think because she didn't want to come off as a quitter for a while, she kept saying she's taking it, but it's not working. And now she's just like, fuck it. I'm just going to say I quit. But no, I don't think she's been taking it for a while.
Right now, like, I don't even have words. All right, so I'm gonna have some Pringles. This is 100 calories. I'm also gonna have 2 of these Duke's Hot and Spicy Shorty sausages for 130 calories.
Yeah, she's gonna have 2 of those. Okay.
Uncrustable grape. It's literally my favorite for 210 calories.
She's still like kind of pretending to care about calories. Like she's just so fake. Like, it's so obvious she doesn't give a shit.
Hello. So it is February.
This look is not a great look with these little clips in her hair where she's looking more and more like a toddler. With all these allegations of her being a PDF, I'm not sure that I would try to look as childish as humanly possible.
6th, and yes, I am just actually an all-around flop lately. I did not finish showing what I was eating yesterday because I
Lately. She's a flop lately.
realized that's also not productive for me in this moment. Let me turn this a little like that. Oh.
Hang on, what?
I did not finish showing what I was eating yesterday because I realized that's also not productive for me in this moment. Let me turn this a little.
Not productive for me in this moment means I don't want to do it.
Like that. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, but I just need to say, I'm obsessed with how good I did this bookshelf. It used to give me so much anxiety to look at it, like, because I hate clutter, I hate messes.
Gotta be a mental illness thing. It's gotta be anxiety. Can't just be that it looks like shit. It's gotta be anxiety.
And so it just, oh my God, this is your sign. If you have something in your house that is like cluttered, or it's giving you anxiety or you need to clean it, do it. Do it while you're listening to me. But anyways, I'm an absolute flop because I don't want to show every single thing that I'm eating. I can't. It messes with me like mentally.
It takes work. It takes effort. And we knew this from the very beginning. When she was like weighing her mayonnaise and crap like that, like any amount of effort is going to be too much for her to do for more than like a day.
To get in like a better headspace before I do that. But don't worry, I will randomly show you guys what I'm eating. I will randomly do weigh-ins. I will randomly talk about my weight loss journey or lack thereof. I'm hoping with
Let's see. She started 10 years ago at 350 pounds or so. How's that weight loss journey going?
therapy that like the mentals can get figured out, because I'm telling you, like, me having struggles with food, that's not like the issue. That's just like a symptom of something else that I'm dealing with. So, like, this is the issues with food. Okay, so this is a symptom. So let's figure out like what's going on up here so we could figure this out so like the symptom can go away. So speaking of therapy.
I mean, you can't get to over 500 pounds without something being off, right? Something's not working right up here. But the problem is she has never been actually diagnosed with anything that she claims to have. She just keeps saying she has BPD and anxiety and all these things, but she just kind of heard people talking about that stuff on TikTok. She hears about the symptoms and just claims that those are hers. But she's not wrong. If you can actually deal with whatever is going on in your head, your mentals, then that would definitely help with your food problems. The problem is you have to be honest with the therapist, and that's just not going to happen. And again, I keep saying I think it's probably BetterHelp or something, and I'm sure it is. And she prefers it that way because she can just go on and just tell them what she has, because they can't diagnose her. They just take her word for it and say, well, yeah, if you've got BPD, then this and this and this and this. And she just gets to live out her fantasy of having BPD and being able to blame everything she does on it. So she's never going to actually figure out the problem, the actual problem. She's just going to continue on this sort of pretend parade of symptoms that she found on TikTok.
My first appointment is in an hour and I am very nervous. I know that therapy consists of a lot of talking about things that I try to shove down on like a day-to-day basis. Last time I did therapy was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I put my all into it.
No, she has never put her all into anything except food. You know, finding something to eat or making something to eat. That's the only time she ever puts effort into anything.
And I was able to actually heal from situations from my childhood that once made me cry all the time. And I'll show you one of those examples. So when
I mean, if you healed, then what are you doing now? She's acting like she's worse off now mentally than she ever has been.
I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I saved my baby brother. So this is one of like...
So the only person that has ever told this story that I know of is her. So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say she didn't save anybody, that she just was there when it happened and she just takes credit for it. Because that's something amberlynn would do.
Multiple traumatic situations I was in my childhood. So I have shared this. This is me when I was little. His crib was right here and the string wrapped around his neck. I'm telling you, I had to rewrite the whole situation, giving every single detail that I could possibly remember. I had to read it daily.
When she wrote all that down, she became a fiction writer. Because, you know, she has to make every situation about her being a hero or special or something.
I had to read it out loud, and I did it so many times that, like, I desensitized.
Wait, and so what she's saying is the, like, worst moment in her life that made her cry all the time was the moment that she was a hero and saved her brother's life? That makes no sense. That is a memory that you would go, man, I am really proud of myself. Why would that be a negative memory? I mean, I get that pretending that actually happened the way she says it did, which I'm guessing somebody else probably saved him, but she was just there and takes credit for it. Pretending that actually happened, that would be a scary moment for sure, but a happy moment that you saved your brother's life. Why would that be something that you would be crying about all the time? And of all of the horrible memories that she claims to have from her childhood, that's the one that she needs to like write down and really examine and get over. What this is just her way of being able to brag and say, oh man, it was so hard when I saved my brother's life. It was just really, really difficult, you guys. It was scary, but I totally saved his life.
Sensitized myself from it. Like I was trying really hard, and with the right type of therapy and the right type of therapist, like healing and change is possible. I love therapy because I go into it.
And even if it was true, think about that. Even if it was true, the narcissism that has to be involved in saying that the most traumatic thing in your life was when you were such a hero that you saved your brother's life. Like that's some real heavy narc vibes, you know?
Like in the nude. That's a weird metaphor. What I mean by that is like when I am sitting there in front of my therapist, I let it all out. I literally let down my walls, my guards. I wear zero mask. I'm authentically myself. And I say my deepest, most like traumatized versions of myself and secrets and feelings and thoughts and things that I would never vocalize out loud to like anybody. I let loose. I let it all out because it's like, why am I paying to go to therapy if I'm not gonna like actually take advantage of these things? Anyways, I need to.
So that would make sense if you actually stuck to therapy, but you don't. That's the whole, this is such a farce. This is so performative, you know? I give it my all. I lay it all out there. And then she quits, which I don't think she goes to begin with. I think she just makes it up from the very beginning. But even in her story, she has quit therapy 50 times. She acts like it's such a wonderful thing and she gets so much out of it, but she only goes to like one session.
To spend the next like 40 minutes and just like whoosha, like bring peace within because I'm actually very nervous. So I'll let you guys know how it goes after.
This is, oh my God, this is so, I say this a lot, but it's just performative. This is just for the audience to make her seem like she's growing. I mean, she is growing, but like she's mentally growing. But no, it's just same old Amber, just being quirky and unique and a schmuck.
All right, you guys, I had my first appointment, and please be shocked. Usually I cry, even the first therapy appointment, almost the whole time. But I'm telling you, I am becoming better at like grounding myself and regulating. So I didn't cry the whole time. I did cry one time, just once. But the way my therapist described it, which was such a good...
She spends a lot of time looking around. You know, we've all seen the body language experts. You know, I don't know how true any of that is, but man, it sure fits Amber. She spends a lot of time looking around for the answers when she's making this stuff up.
Good description is like the first few appointments is like opening up a very full, packed, jammed closet and just taking everything out of it and being like, okay, now that everything's out of it, let's look at everything and see what we have to do with each thing. And I was like, that's a really good way of explaining it.
Of course, that word salad mumbo jumbo would sound really profound to amberlynn.
So that's very much how today went. And I like her a lot. I thought I was going to have more to say after my appointment, but really it was just like her getting to know me more and know more about my past and my current life, things that are bothering me.
Do you think if she was actually going to therapy, which I'm still not sure that's totally true, do you think that one of the things that would be quote unquote bothering her would be the allegations of her being a PDF? Do you think she would ever bring that up in therapy? Because we know she's never going to bring it up on here. So,
Yeah, it was a really good first appointment. So now I need to do a few things, and my mom's gonna be picking me up because tomorrow's her birthday. And I was like, what do you want to do for your birthday? She wants to go to bingo. She wants to go to bingo today. I think we're gonna do a
don't they go to bingo like all the time? Which, I mean, I guess if you enjoy it, then whatever, but leave it to amberlynn to not come up with anything for her and her mom to do. She just asks her mom, hey, what do you want to do for your birthday? She doesn't want to take the time to do something thoughtful for her mom. She just wants to say, what do you want to do? Let's go do it. Because putting effort into anything is really not something Amber is willing to do.
electronic bingo, which is my fave. And we also get to daub right next to the electronics. We get to do both.
Both. I love that they have a dauber bag that's like their sports bag. You know, it's like it looks like an equipment bag, like a baseball bag. You have your bat, your glove, and your helmet, and all that stuff in that bag. That's kind of what this is like their bingo equipment bag. I think that's funny.
My mom went to go order us some dinner. We're gonna have their non.
Do you think she struggled to say bingo, even though the last time they were at electronic bingo or like the neon bingo or whatever, she was dancing and doing the YMCA and doing her laugh? Do you think she struggles to say bingo? What a stupid thing for her to say. I still can't believe she said that.
Chose grande or whatever it's called. So yay. My bingo dauber of choice has been this super bright pink one. It's so cute. And then I also really like.
And she's sitting here filming in public, like talking to her phone. If you really had so much anxiety you didn't want to say bingo, I have a feeling you would not be able to do this.
This Dazzle yellow one because it's like glittery and sparkly.
I will say, I think it's funny that they've got so many bingo daubers, right? And that's, you know, that's the thing, man. When, like, the smart business people are the ones that come up with like these little ideas like this. Like the old saying, during the gold rush, the people that made the most money were not the miners, but the people selling the picks. So yeah, they saw an opportunity. They were like, man, people like these daubers. Let's make some really fun ones. And people buy the shit out of those things.
Okay, you guys, so I had a really good time with my mom.
And those nachos looked tasty, but also probably not great for her demas or her pancreas or her gallbladder. I don't think that fits into any of those.
Stepdad stayed home because he's not feeling well, so keep him in your guys' thoughts. I hope that you guys did enjoy this vlog. And if you guys haven't seen, I did the trend that people are doing over on my TikTok.
Surprise, surprise, she did a trend.
I think I did it last night or the night before. It's where people are taking Kendrick Lamar's song because at the Grammys, Taylor Swift was like getting down when they played that song while everyone else was just like chilling. You know what? Maybe I'll just add it here while I'm speaking. So you guys are probably seeing it now, but if you want to see it with the music, it's genuinely so funny. Like, everyone is doing that trend and I thought it was hilarious. And I was like, I need to do that because I literally was standing Taylor Swift. Yeah, Amberlynn Reed is saying that. Anyways.
Okay, this may be controversial. That wasn't good dancing at all by any means. But she's moving, man. Look at that. She's actually moving.
And I was like, I need to do that because I literally was standing Taylor Swift. Yeah, Amberlynn Reed is saying that. Anyways.
All right. So again, it's not great dancing. But God, credit where credit's due. She is... Now, I guarantee as soon as this was over, she was like... But still, I mean, she was getting down. All right. Okay. She's still a horrible human being and likely a PDF file, so I no credit for anything other than the fact that she was moving more than I expected her to, you know.
I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
So, yeah, I mean, nobody's surprised she's quitting semaglutide, and it's the cycle. The cycle is doing exactly what it has been made to do. So, as we can see, she's in the step 3 of the cycle right now. Just, of course, this is a little older, so it still says stuff like mukbangs and stuff like that, but you know, her hair is pretty greasy. I mean, right here it says it all. Weight loss goals finally addressed. She abandoned them. Haters blamed. And it says weight gain, tragedy, her attitude, giving up, and disease. Shopping goes into overdrive, and she's been shopping a lot lately. And continuous eating of huge amounts of garbage. So we are in the indignation step. The next step will be the crying. Of course, the cycle has been a little askew this time just because a lot of like allegations have been coming out. But yeah, we are firmly in step 3 of the cycle. So next she's going to be in the final step before she starts her weight loss plan over again. Anyway, I appreciate you guys so much and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.